the market and we got that is called the de-dusting machine. Okay, what that machine has the property, the functions of that machine was, means if you put something on that, sorry, there was some vibrator, then bags, 1,000 to 2,000 bags are put on that thing. After cutting of that bags, then it vibrates all the bags. Then the raw materials which were stuck inside the bag and thrown as a waste, that was recovered, and it has a significant amount. It was the significant amount, I think 3 ton or 4 ton a day, means after 10 a day, means in a year they have saved, and the TiO2 was very significant, means costly material. In that way, small initiatives of the recovering, you're reusing, you can say recovering, just not, I should say recover, that was the waste, and we saved by implementing de-dusting machine a lot of money of the company. And indirectly, money as well as that raw material is again, means company does not need to purchase that amount of the raw material again and again. Then we save our natural resources. And in that way, green concepts can be brought in the organization. Then the cost of that de-dusting machine was, say for example, 10 lakhs rupees. The cost which was saved by recovering that TiO2 from the bags was 50 lakhs. In that way, less investment and more saving. This was the small example how the company can implement and approach towards the green practices. Then why companies should do this? To increase operational efficiency by reducing cost and waste. They will achieve to respond to or reach new customers and increase competitivity advantage. Protect and strengthen brand and reputations and build public trust. Build long-term business viability and success. Respond to regulatory constraints and opportunities. Then these were the reasons why companies should think about that. What would be the advantages by doing this? Okay, then lots of the advantages. There is a win-win situations always if you go for the green practices. But moving next, then there are these some principles how you can achieve after understanding of the green manufacturing concepts, approaches. Then what are the principles how you can implement, where you can implement? Okay, then according to the dictionary definition, the term principles refers to a fixed or predetermined set of policies, way of actions or conducts. Principles are fundamental concepts that serve as a basis for actions and as an essential framework for the establishment of a more complex system. Then broadly, sustainable manufacturing principles are given by LCSP. This is the Lowell Center for Sustainable Production. They work a lot towards sustainable manufacturing, and they have come up with 9 principles. Considering all the principles are based on, they focus on the green manufacturing practices. Then Porter in 2006 given the shared value principles. I'll tell one by one. Then LCS principles, which are the environmental focuses perspectives considered. Product and packaging are designed to be safe and ecologically sound throughout their life cycle. This is one of the principles. Then now, if some manufacturing company wants to implement green practices in their organizations, then they should think, they should learn, they should give thought on these principles, and by doing this, definitely they'll move towards achieving green practices. First principle says products which are being manufactured and packaging, the product which are being packaged by using some materials, then they should be designed. It should be very safe and ecological sound throughout their life cycle. Means making the products, they should consider these principles, designing. Second is what? Waste and ecologically incompatible byproducts are reduced, eliminated, or recycled. Okay, then they should think, they should apply. Energy and materials are conserved while making the product, while designing the product, while using the product, entire life cycles. At any stage of the life cycle, they should think about that. Then chemical substances or physical agents and conditions that are present hazards to human health or the environment are eliminated. Means they should not be considered while designing the product. Just say, if I say is that lead in the electronics industry, you might have heard about that the use of the lead is very high. That is very dangerous, or you can say that the toxic material. Then nowadays companies are thinking towards how to reduce the use of the lead so that the impact, the drawback is the impact of the lead to the human health should be eliminated. Then we should not use that kind of product in our design stage itself. We should not bring in design. Then the use will be less. Then the consequences of using of that kind of the substances would reduce. The next is social principles. These principles, there are the four principles which focuses towards the society, social aspects. Workplaces and technologies are designed to minimize or eliminate chemical, ergonomic, and physical hazards. Means the working environment should be in such a way that should have less chemical substances. They should be designed ergonomically so that worker and employees may not face physical hazard. Management is committed to an open, participatory process of continuous evaluation and improvement, focused on the long-term economic performance of the firm. Work is organized to conserve and enhance the efficiency and creativity of employees. The security and well-being of the employees is a priority and is the continuous development of their talents and capacities. Means company should think about that also. Then in that way, these principles help to achieve the green and sustainable manufacturing. This is the last principle, that is the ninth one. It is focusing towards the economic perspective. The communities around workplace are respected and enhanced economically, socially, culturally, physically. Equity and fairness are promoted. These principles are made keeping in mind 17th Sustainable Development Goals. I assume that some of you must have seen these 17 sustainable goals. Then if company adopts these principles, 9 principles in their organizations, then definitely they'll achieve green manufacturing. Then shared value principle, what it says, this is given by Porter. Shared value principles for achieving sustainability suggest the choices made in both business decisions and social policies must benefit both sides, considering the mutual dependence of the corporates and society. Just take an example of the Amul. I think you people have seen that, you have heard about the Amul. Amul started in the Gujarat, that is Anand Nagar, nearby Anand Nagar. Then that is started with the help of shared value. Whatever they wanted over there, then they train their people their own places, and they get the means the employ the for the employ to creation of the employment. You have seen also CSR perspectives. The companies are opening their training centers, ITIs, and then they train their people, nearby people, and they get that. Then in that way, both are benefited. That is called the win-win situation. And these kind of the shared value is defined. These are the policies and operating practices that enhance the competitiveness of a company while simultaneously advancing the economic and social conditions in communities in which it operates. This is the based on these shared value principles. Means the business should be organized or established while keeping in your mind the profit of the organization. Same time, they should also consider what community and society will get benefit from them. Then that is called the shared value. Shared means with society का उसमें contribution क्या होगा और society को क्या benefit होगा और company का क्या benefit होगा, ये दोनों चीजों को ध्यान में रख के ही अगर these principles are made, then only they should be say that they are going towards the sustainability. Okay. Am I audible? Anybody can confirm my voice is coming?
Yes, sir, your voice is coming, sir.
Okay, thank you. Because in this it does not give the sense feel what I'm saying, whether people are listening or not. Okay, thank you. And green manufacturing practices, then green or sustainable manufacturing, how we can achieve, what practice we should adopt. Okay, then here green manufacturing practices is understood as the actions, initiatives, and techniques. As I said, initiative means dedusting machine was discussion of the dedusting. Example of the dedusting machine was one of the initiative. Okay, another initiative, as I explained, is the recollection of the used bucket of the uh, color paint. Okay, so in that way, positively affect the environment, social and economic performance of a firm, helping to control or mitigate the impacts of the firm operations in the triple bottom line. Triple bottom line is what does mean by that? Anybody has any idea? Triple bottom line, social, economic, environmental. Means company does not think about to earn only money. They should not keep the objective to make the business. What actually people does? People do that. They are doing the business, they are making the product to make the money, but they're not considering the environmental aspects. They're not considering the social aspects. Then they should think about that. If people start thinking, because in traditionally manufacturing people or means manufacturing owner, a company is just to make the money, productivity perspective only. But you should also consider other perspective, that is a social and environmental perspective. Then that is called the green manufacturing. Then these are the initiatives or techniques that positively affect the environmental, social, and economic performance of the farm. Not only economic performance. We should not think about to gain the profit. We should not think about the reduce the cost just only. At the same time, you should think about less CO2 emission, less raw material conservation, means less raw material use, less energy use. Then that in that way, if you are thinking and making your objectives of the output, then definitely you'll moving towards the green or sustainable manufacturing. Then these are the some practices given by the different researchers. Sustainable product design means company should think about to make green product. They should make green process or sustainable process. Lean practices is also one kind of the practices which can be implement, and it helps to achieve the green and sustainable manufacturing goals. Sustainable supply chain, product recovery and return practices, cleaner production and agile practices, and other examples, other practices I said approaches 6R. Okay, 6Rs are covered everywhere. Okay, if I'll take the example of the sustainable product design, then redesign is here. Sustainable process design, then also here is redesign is there. Lean practices, reduce, reuse. In that way, by doing these things, company can move forward to achieve the goal of green manufacturing. Then now, after understanding and having said these important concepts, how we can move forward, what can be done, then now, what are the things which can motivate you to implement green manufacturing, and what are the things which hindered? Because after understanding that thing, after having all these things, why, if you might have, if you visit nearby your industry, local area, then you'll not see the example of the green practices, why they're not doing so. So what are the everywhere, Hannah, if you'll start, if you go, if you want to change something, then there is a resistance, that is called the barriers, why people are not doing so. That and drivers, if they do, what motivates to do that thing. Then one by one I'll explain these things also. The drivers are definitely classified into two categories, endogenous and exogenous. Exogenous means the drivers which from the outside of the organizations, and endogenous means the things which are inside the organizations. Okay, exogenous means outside, how the outside people affect, how the outside people restrict you to do something. And endogenous, what inherent means, suppose I want to do something, I want to make some changes in myself, then that is my inherent property, that is endogenous, it comes from my side. Then external stakeholder pressure is the exogenous driver. So stakeholders, who can be the stakeholders for the manufacturing? Customer can be stakeholder, government organizations can be stakeholder, supplier can be stakeholders, customer forces. Nowadays you have seen that, and we see that we want we must have the green product. Then if the demand of the green product is posed by the customers, then company should think about that. Then this kind of the drivers means the drives to implement green practices in green manufacturing. Then that is one of the example of the exogenous drivers. Then next is the customer awareness, how customers are aware towards the green. If they are aware, they think, they demand, then because if customer will not accept your non-green products in the market, then no need to make the product. Then government supports and promotions for catering to the both domestic and international markets. Just see for the example, if a government is promoting and giving subsidies to implement the solar panels, solar heater, solar street light, then if in that way, so this is a driver. Government forces come up with this initiative install solar panels in your organizations, we will give some subsidy to you. Then that is one kind of the driver. Success stories of sustainable manufacturing in other organizations. It also motivates. Suppose there are two companies, X and Y. Y companies implemented green practices, sustainable practices, and they got some benefit. Then the neighbor company, that is a Y, X, and they listen those stories, then that also motivates and that drives to implement green practices. Availability of information on proper practices, that is also one of the external drivers. Then moving next, endogenous. Endogenous means company by own. Internal environmental collaboration with suppliers. This is the one thing. Availability of the funds of green projects. That is a one important major concern. Okay. If company has a support, that's why you find that green practices are evident in big organizations more. Small organizations, small scale industries, they have a crisis of the money. That's why they think that we should not adopt green practices. And potential to use as a marketing tool, company image. Yes, I should say that I am a company, suppose, and I can market that thing. Yes, I am a green manufacturer. Please come to me and bring the customers, those who wants to purchase green products, they'll come. Then we can quote as a green image. Top management awareness and support is important and crucial drivers to implement the green practices. If top management does not have the awareness and does not support to do this kind of the activities, then you may not able to. Employee involvement in company culture is also important. Everybody should come forward. It drives. If they think in that way, then only the green practices can be implemented. Technology infrastructure, yes. If you have a good advanced technology, current state of art facilities, then you will have the more chance to implement practices. And economic benefits, yes, there is economic benefits. As I said that I have presented the example of the implementation of installation of the dedusting machine. Cost of the dedusting machine was 10 lakhs and they got the benefit of the 50 lakhs rupees. That motivates, that drives what I'll gain after this green manufacturing. Okay, then only they can think about implement. Desire to attain green publicity, desire to reduce cost, innovate and become a pioneer. In that way, these are the internal drivers which motivates and which drives the organizations towards implementation of the green practices. Competitiveness, long-term survival in the market. In that way, if there is an X organizations, those who are practicing green, then it creates the competitiveness and they want to say that, yes, they force me to think about that, how I can become and how I can make more green product in our organizations. Then now turn has come of the barriers. After drivers, we should also think about the barriers. What things stops to companies to adopt green manufacturing? This is exogenous lack of awareness program conducted by locally, means we are not thinking about lack of government regulations. Government are not forcing. Okay, nowadays government is very stringent on that area. Government of India is also in Western countries, they have very strict regulations towards green manufacturing. But here also, just government of India is thinking make in India, and they have come up with a good regulations so that they can have more green practices. Lack of success stories of green manufacturing in other organizations, that also demotivates. Lack of customer awareness of green manufacturing. If customers are not aware, they don't demand, then definitely that is one of barrier. Lack of demand for external stakeholders, no tax benefit and other rewards from the government. Yes, government will not give any subsidy, government will not give any tax benefit for the companies, those who are practicing green, then that stops. Why I should do? Then government should bring some policies to motivate and to implement the green practices. Then endogenous barriers, negative attitudes towards sustainability concepts. Being a manufacturer, being a company owner, I do not believe on the sustainability concepts. Then that is my inherent barrier to which stops to think about green practices. Lack of funds available of green projects, that might be another one. Yes, definitely. Lack of fund is one. It might be another barrier for the implementation of the green practices. Lack of employee and management commitment, increment in overall cost, lack of specific ideas on what to do and when to do, high cost of training requirement, lack of awareness of sustainability concept in the firm. So these are the important drivers and barriers which motivates and hinder the implementation of green practices. Then now I'll little bit discuss about the manufacturing strategy, conventional manufacturing strategy. Then I'll bring that what changes are required if you'll implement the green, then what changes is needed. These are the conventional manufacturing strategy that is well established concepts. Okay, Skinner 1969 regarded manufacturing strategy as something that must exploit certain properties of the manufacturing functions to achieve competitive advantage. Earlier, what was thinking manufacturing is just only one process. Okay, they have to create the product, they have to make the product and sell it. But no, they thought, there are the researchers. Skinner was the one person who thought that there should be something must exploit certain properties of the manufacturing functions to achieve competitive advantage. Means manufacturing can be, no, manufacturing functions can be changed, can be altered to achieve the competitive advantage. How manufacturing can help to gain more benefit. Conventionally, for the traditional manufacturing, they have brought various concepts. Similarly, Hayes and Willwright 1984 defines manufacturing strategy as a consistent pattern of decision making. What is this? Consistent pattern of decision making in manufacturing function that is linked to the business strategy. Means how the manufacturing can help to achieve the ultimate goal of the business. What changes can be done? What strategies, what policies can be changed in a manufacturing, in a production process, so that the ultimate goal of the company can be achieved. They brought these concepts. Platts, Mills, Bowney, Neely, Richards considered it a pattern of decision. What they said? Pattern of decision. How the decisions can be made in manufacturing during the manufacturing of the product, so that it can be a structural or infrastructural. What do you mean by the structural and infrastructural? Structures means what machine we must have, what kind of the raw material we should purchase. These are the structural, means hardware kind of thing. Infrastructural means software kind of the things. If I say software means in computer, I'm relating the software. What policies should be there? What should be the reporting system? Operate in order to meet a set of manufacturing objectives which are consistent with the overall business objective. Then in that way, they have defined the manufacturing strategy. Then it is consist of, it has a it is consisting of the content and process. Manufacturing strategy is made of the content. Content has the competitive priorities and decision areas. And process is what? Formulation and implementation of the strategy. Now I'll move, then it will be clear. What is the content? Content of manufacturing strategy is the interaction between competitive priorities and decision area. I'll tell you what is competitive priorities means. I should say that what should be the output of the manufacturing. Okay, then how the manufacturing can be fixed their output, on what area manufacturing should compete in the market. That's why just say for the example, I'll say that there are the companies, some of the companies, Apple is a mobile phone, iPhone, and another is a some MI. Then what are the competitive priorities for both the companies? One, then I'll say on what means criteria they do the business. What is the focus on that? If they fix some, I'll tell you, then see this picture. These are the competitive priorities. What? Cost, quality, delivery speed, delivery reliability, flexibility, and innovation. So these are the conventional competitive priorities. Means manufacturing is done keeping in mind what should be their priorities to run the business. Just I was quoting the example of Apple and MI Mobile. Then what should be the competitive priorities for the Apple? Is innovative product. That is a different product. And what should be the competitive priorities for the MI? Cost can be the competitive priorities. Okay, in that way. how the company can win the order. That is called the competitive priorities. On what criteria you will say that I'll do this thing, order winner and order qualifier. In that way, okay, how you can win. You will say, no, my product quality of the product is very high. Apple has a very high quality and innovative product. Then the person, those who purchase the product, they think about that only. But the most of the MI's mobiles are being sold with the based on the they made the product keeping in mind the cost. So in this way, these are the competitive priorities. These are called the competitive priorities. And to achieve these competitive priorities, what changes can be done in the manufacturing activities? Those are called the decision areas, or sometimes it is also called the manufacturing levers. How to tweak your levers to achieve certain objective of the manufacturing. Just you want to achieve less cost product, then which kind of the technology you need, which kind of the vertical integration you need, then you have to make the changes. So that is called the decision area. Then content of the manufacturing is consisting of the competitive priorities and decision area. So these are the conventional. Okay, then if company thinks about the green practices, green products, then what might be the impact of these competitive priorities and decision area? That is the research question. Okay, that is very interesting thing. Whether it will change or not. What do you think? Yes, it may change. Process of the manufacturing strategy is process deals with the method used in MS formulation. The process of manufacturing strategy is the procedures that are or can be used to formulate manufacturing strategy. Process model explain the how part of manufacturing strategy. Then implications, as I said, conventionally competitive priorities and decision areas are presented in this picture. If you see in this one, okay, competitive priorities and decision area. Then if company thoughts about to implement green practices in their organizations, then what would be the impact on this and what would be the impact on this? Definitely there may some impact. Okay, then that is called the implications. While formulating a manufacturing strategy traditionally, only cost, quality, delivery, flexibility, innovation, delivery speed, as I highlighted, is considered as a competitive priority by any way, any firm. In view of integrating green manufacturing or sustainability with manufacturing strategy, an important research question is what should be the appropriate set of competitive priorities for formulating sustainable manufacturing, yeah, green manufacturing strategy. Then this is the research questions people can take up in this and think about that. Those who are doing, those who are interested to do the research. That's why I brought this question here. And implications of different decision areas of manufacturing strategies are presented by Johansson and Winroth in their study. If green issues are considered in green manufacturing strategy, for instance, the manufacturing layout may be exposed to change in order to fit the demands originating from the remanufacturing. Yes, suppose there is a one manufacturing company. They are not practicing remanufacturing. Then if they bring that concept, remanufacturing, then they might change their layout because you have to take again used product and make it again new product. Then you might have changed. That's why there is impact on the decision areas. What are the decision areas? These are the decision areas or levers. Technology, facilities, layout is the part of the facility, capacity, vertical integration. Then there might be the impacts while considering green in the organization. The study of the Ocampo et al. 2017 also supports the finding of Johansson and Winroth. In that way, I can conclude that if company wants to implement the green manufacturing in their organizations, then they have to make different things, various changes in their strategy also. Then with these words, I would like to stop my presentation, and this is uh, this is my and if any participants have the questions, then the platform is open for the question and answer session. Thank you very much for listening and okay, listening me since the last 1.5 hours. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your nice
Thank
lecture,
you.
motivational lecture on manufacturing, sustainable manufacturing, on and the history related to that. Along with that, we have discussed numerous examples, sir, on the basics of production. Along with that, the traditional manufacturing system and its objectives. Okay, sir. So sustainability and its manufacturing detail with principles. So I would like to request if any of the participants have any queries related to such lecture, so they can interact with sir, or they can type their question in the chat box. Sir can answer them. So the session is open to all. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your nice lecture, sir.
Thank
So
you.
the
Thank you,
session is open
everyone,
to all.
for yes.
Sir, I don't think anybody has any query, but I hope you will be having queries related to that. So you just go through the sir's lecture once. So if you have any query, you can directly contact to sir related to this lecture, and you can discuss about the sustainable manufacturing system, or the rather green manufacturing. So you can have such contact number. It is present in our university website. Okay. Or else you can either contact me. I can give you the contact details of sir, so he can contact with you. Okay. So sir, thank you very much, sir, for this nice
Thank you.
lecture, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all and one. Thank you for this golden opportunity. Thank you, Wiplo and your team, and HOD
Thank you.
Mechanical and Dean School of Engineering and Technology, for considering me as one of the speaker for this wonderful FDP. And I wish for the grand success of this FDP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
the
you very
best.
much,
Bye
sir.
bye. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. So I would like to request all the participants. So this is the completion of our session one, day 4, session 1. So we'll be again meet for our next lecture, which will commence from 12 o'clock. So we have a lecture on manufacturing, nano or micro manufacturing. So I hope all of you please join the lecture. I request all the participants please join the lecture. It will be given by Dr. Manas Das from Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Guwahati. Okay, so that's all from my side. Till then, thank you very much. So please join at 12 o'clock for our second session.